Getting ready to make this do-it-yourself raw dog food because we've been buying processed raw dog food for quite a long time now, and it's getting pretty pricey, 40 bucks for 18 days worth. So I found this recipe. It seems pretty straightforward. So blueberries, spinach, they said chicken gizzards, but I know for a fact he doesn't like chicken gizzards. He might not like chicken hearts, but it's an organ meat. And then some carrot, flaxseed, and I got some fish oil as well, some plain yogurt, full fat, as full as I can get it, and some pretty decent ground chuck, 80-20, 80% lean, got more fat in it, that's good stuff. So first I'm going to try and then there's 2 eggs I got to add. So I'm going to try, I don't have a food processor yet, but I'm going to try to blend all this little stuff into the blender and see how that works, and then mix it in with the dog food. And then I have to figure out how I'm going to apportion it out. They said 2 to 3% of your dog's body weight, so I got to do that and calculate it into ounces, and then figure out how many ounces per serving I'm going to feed him per day. So I blended all that together, and actually it looks like you could drink this as a smoothie. It's got that blueberry look to it, although the smell is probably something that is not to be desired because it has that chicken hearts and flaxseed and the fish oil. And I think the fish oil's got a scent to it, but you know what? Dogs love that kind of stinky stuff, and so far it's all good ingredients, and it kind of compares with what I've been feeding them. I mean, they put vegetables and fruits and oils and things of that nature inside other stuff, but after I do the analysis of what exactly I use and how much it costs, we'll see the comparison. I mean, if it's cost the same to feed him the stuff to make, which is a pretty good product, I think. The Primal is pretty good. It uses a lot of good ingredients. If it's the same price, you may as well just keep feeding them that. I mean, it's a lot easier making this mess, because now I got to clean up all this mess, and then now I got to bleach everything, because you know, you got to make sure everything's clean, especially that blender. So now I'm going to add the 2.5 pounds of 80-20 into this lovely stuff there, and mix it in, hopefully really good, and then start packaging it in maybe, I don't know, I'll have to look again to see what the ratios are for a 15-ounce animal. So I got it all mixed together. It doesn't quite smell as bad as that liquid beef mixture, because I don't know, it just doesn't smell as bad. But it's kind of a meatloaf. If you've ever made meatloaf, it's a meatloaf consistency of the meat. So now I need to figure out how much I'm going to split this up in packages that are convenient to feed the dog, and then freeze. Keep one in the refrigerator, defrosted, and freeze the other stuff. So I'm going to give a little sample to the dog, and we'll see. Get back, you. Okay. Did you like it? Was that good? Okay, I guess it passed the test. So basically I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days worth of food. So each day you would cut this in half. This is 8 ounces. According to a raw dog food calculator I found online, and I found a couple other websites that talked about, you know, 2 to 3% of your dog's body weight, and they're saying a little under a half pound per day. If you feed them twice a day, a quarter pound. So, you know, 4 ounces, basically 4 ounces, half of that morning and the other half at night. So I got 7 days. I got a week's worth of dog food there. So depending on the how much it cost to actually make this, I mean, if we're saving just a couple bucks, to me, it is not worth the mess that I created. Seriously, if I have to make this mess every week, that would totally get on my nerves because, you know, I had to, I had to bleach everything here, you know, not to mention each baggie, you can't get it perfectly in these bags, you know, unless someone's holding the bag open, wide open, you end up getting the stuff on the outside. And so that's another contamination, you know, thing. If that kind of thing bugs you, you know, I'm gonna have to go by with maybe a Lysol wipe and wipe the outside because it's gonna be sitting in my refrigerator. And putting away all the excess stuff and cleaning up this mess over here, and you know, I don't know. The jury is still out on whether or not do-it-yourself dog food is the way to go. So we shall see. Okay, so I just got done cleaning up all my mess. I bleached the heck out of everything. I had to do the counter, everywhere that this meat was, I had to do. So basically the process of making your own dog food is quite the mess. Now I did some calculations here just to see what the cost to benefit ratio would be, and pretty much there is none. So basically this recipe consists of 2.5 pounds of beef, ground beef, 80-20, chicken hearts, 4 ounces, carrots, 3 ounces, blueberries, 1 cup, 2 eggs, and ½ cup of plain yogurt. And so basically when I did the math compared to the prefab stuff, because I'm only making a week's worth from this recipe. So when I did the math, according to what I came up with, and maybe it's wrong, I don't know, I did my best, but I pay about 40 bucks for 18 days of prefabbed raw dog food from the pet store. It's usually about 34, but after tax it's about 40, usually, typically. And when I did the numbers on here, it was like, you know, $2.22 per day, fed twice a day with the prefabbed stuff you get from the pet food store, versus $2.28. And that's just a kind of a rough number because the prices can fluctuate depending on how much your blueberries are, depending on how much your beef is, etc., and so on and so forth. So $2.28 for homemade stuff, and the gargantuan, ginormous mess you create out of this versus $2.22. So maybe it's, you know, if you're into making your own stuff, do it yourself. You know, we try to do all of our stuff, own maintenance and car maintenance and stuff, but sometimes you just have to let someone else make the mess. You know, working on a transmission, let them make the mess. Making the dog food, let them make the mess. So I'm gonna go through my numbers again just to make sure that, and I'm gonna try it, you know, because I made it. We're gonna give it a go and see if he likes it, see how he reacts to it. You never know, sometimes dog stomachs. I'm gonna slowly, you know, give him a little bit of the new stuff and give him some of the other stuff that he's used to, and just slowly get him over and see how his stomach reacts to it. And you can usually tell by their bowel movements. Unfortunately, that's gross, but it is true. You can tell the way they're processing stuff by how they go number 2. So I kind of wanted to be a really big money saver because we're trying to save some money here and there, but if it's not really saving any money and it's more of a mess. And it took me an hour from the time I unpackaged everything, got everything blended, and I cleaned everything up, bleached everything. I'm still got some mess to clean up. The hassle is really not worth the hassle. So, and the mess it makes. So, if you're into that, that's good. Make the mess. I just don't want to create this mess. You could double up or even triple up on the recipe and make it for 3 weeks, or even quadruple. Make it for 4 weeks. You better get some bigger pots to mix that stuff in. I mean, it's just a bigger mess. So it's the way you look at it. It depends on you. Anyways, I think that I'm going to do the numbers again just to make sure I didn't mess up. And if it's about the same, I'm just going to keep buying it. Anyways, that's my opinion.